What's up mga Katingog? Welcome back to another episode of our Aksyong Ka-Tingog in the Frontlines series. According to the COVID-19 bulletin from the Department of Health in Central Visayas, Cebu City had more recoveries than new reported cases on March 28, breaking a weeks-long pattern of triple digits. On March 28, a total of 178 recoveries were reported and 80 new cases of the infected. So for today's episode mga Katingog, let's take the time to sit down and listen to another of our fellow Katingog's experience in this time of pandemic. He is a doctor at the tertiary hospital in Cebu. Let's welcome Doctor Abby Niles Cuenco.
What's up mga Katingog? I'm Doctor Abby Niles Cuenco, aka Dr. Robot. So I'm here to talk about life as a frontliner in this pandemic. So first, I'd like to address what's my line of work and how did COVID-19 affect it. So I'm a first-year family medicine resident in a tertiary hospital in Cebu, and COVID-19 has really affected my life. Aside from adapting to a more healthy lifestyle in order to avoid risk factors, I also had to adapt to my learning style in assessing my patients. I had to study harder in order to entertain my patients and to explain to them properly about this pandemic and its ever-evolving changes and guidelines. So what was the most challenging experience I had as a frontliner in this pandemic? Well, the most challenging thing to do is in talking to the significant others or the family of our patients. Why? Sometimes they don't understand things, sometimes they're anxious, sometimes they won't be in their right mood or state of mind when they find out that their family member or if their patient is actually getting sick, getting worse. No? That's the hard part. It's hard to be with them, to be more compassionate, to empathize with them. That's a really big challenge, especially in the field of family medicine. What was the most enlightening experience I had during this pandemic? Well, you see, the most enlightening experience I had was when some of my co-residents were already affected by it and I had to be there as a brother, to them. We're all comrades in arms. We talk to each other. It made us closer as a family, bring the family and family medicine. And not just in our department, we also talk with our co-residents in other departments, and other frontliners as well. We became more united as a unit and became more cohesive. And we learned to open up to each other because we're all in this together. We are a brotherhood. How did me and my family cope with the stress of my work, being a frontliner? Well, luckily, I'm also born to a family of doctors, and because of that, they're extra paranoid and careful as well. We had to change the structure of our home. We had to be more aggressive in our signs and symptoms. We learned how to quarantine ourselves. We learned how to talk to each other virtually. Sometimes I remember there was a time when I had to quarantine myself in my room because I came from the COVID triage rotation. I would talk to my parents in Viber because they know that they're senior citizens. It's not good that I will always be in contact with them, especially for more than 15 minutes. We would adapt to our lifestyles. We've been taking more vitamins. We've been reading more articles on what kind of other things we could supplement for each other. And that's how we cope with it. And of course, aside from Netflix, playing video games, I'm still a young guy, so I enjoy those things as well. Reading books. Yeah, you could say studying as well, A medical professional is forever a student, especially a doctor. A doctor is forever a student. So do I have any health protocols whenever I'm at home? Yes. In our home, we have a visitor's room that we changed into a quarantine room where we change, where we take a bath, where we disinfect our soiled linens, our soiled masks before we dispose of them. We also have this HEPA filter in our dining room. We open our windows time after time, especially when we're near a COVID suspect patient in the hospital and we arrive home. I personally take a bath outside, usually in the garage area or at the back of the patio of my house, in order not to bring the germs inside, you know what I mean? That's how I adapted to it. And I usually confine myself in my room, and I usually don't sit near my parents because they're senior citizens. It's like end to end. My dad sits here and I'm on the other far end of the table, you know, end to end across each other. We really had to change everything. We always have alcohol or everywhere at home, you know. We always have to wash our hands 20 seconds. And of course, we wear a mask, especially if we know we're exposed. We wear a mask at home. What is my message for our fellow Filipinos in these trying times? To be honest, there's only one thing I can say. Guys, let us continue to learn to love one another. Because really, in problems like these, it shows the true colors of our people, of our friends, or friends. And you know, there's only one thing we can do. Just show love, just show care. Help one another. In loving our neighbor and in loving ourselves, we can help survive in this pandemic. If we love our fellow human beings, we would wash our hands properly, we would wear face masks, we would put on face shields, we will practice social distancing, we would learn when to quarantine ourselves, we would learn to have ourselves swabbed if in case we have signs and symptoms of COVID-19. It all boils down to love, guys. And I could not emphasize it even further. And additionally, I'd like to talk and take this opportunity to have a message to the people studying medicine right now. Do not be disheartened. You are the future of our country. And we need you to keep doing your best in order to be the next frontliners. As we continue to fight the good fight for you guys, one day you're gonna pay it forward and help our country. Take care. God bless. Dr. Robot, signing out.
Thank you, Doc Abby, for sharing your experience with us in this pandemic. Yes, love is indeed important, especially in these tough times. With love, we learn to think not just for ourselves, but for our fellow Filipinos as well. Let us take the time to realize the impact of our actions and on what we can do to improve public health by abiding protocols, practice proper hand washing and hand rubbing, wearing of personal protective equipment such as face mask and face shield, and lastly, staying at home. And for that, let us acknowledge the efforts of all medical doctors who have significantly helped the citizens by facing the battle head-on despite the risks. That's it for today's episode, and we hope you liked it. Catch us again next week for another Aksyong Ka-Tingog in the Frontlines. If you may, please react and share this video. For more updates on Tingog Bai, please like or follow our page and turn your notifications on. Until then, see you mga katingogs! Ug ayaw kalimot na mutingog ko, mutingog ka! Tingog Bai!